Hey guys, it's your girl Cassandra, and today we are breaking down this year's questions for Cornell. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Cassandra. I've gone to all 8 Ivy League universities, including Cornell, so you can watch me break down my own Cornell essay questions here, but note that, the questions are different in that cycle. We are going to go through the 2 they have for this year today, and don't forget to get the free link to my Google Doc of tips, advice for all of this year's supplements. Yes, it's an ongoing doc that I'm continuously updating with schools according to your request, giving you tips on how to get started on these supplements. So get the link in the description. Okay, so to start out with, Cornell has 2 essays. One is 350 words, one is 650 words. Because they only have 2 essays, I really need you to work backwards, use the spiderweb method to think about what are the topics you should include here. Obviously, you are also submitting your Common App essay, so the topics should not significantly overlap, otherwise it will be redundant. You can use these 2 essays to show off more sides of yourself that are very important and meaningful to you. So the first question is, we all contribute and are influenced by the communities that are meaningful to us. Share how you've been shaped by one of the communities you belong to. Define community in the way that is most meaningful to you. This community example can be drawn from your family, school, workplace, activities, or interests, or any other group you belong to. I love that last part. It is kind of broad in terms of the level of community that you can pick and choose to talk about. So there are 2 elements that we kind of have to look at here. There is the element of you contributing to your community, and then also your community contributing to you, or in other words, how is your community shaping you? So whenever we dive into community essays or even leadership essays, I think it's really important to paint a picture of the people that you are serving. Like, who is actually in the community of people that means so much to you, right? By painting pictures of individual characters in this community, or giving us a sense of like what the vibe is like, what the personalities are like in this community, I can understand how it shaped you. And more importantly, I have the feeling that, wow, this community means a lot to you without you having to tell me this community means a lot to me. So something as simple as name dropping some people that have really stood out to you in this community. It could be people that have impacted you. Maybe they welcomed you in, made you feel welcome. It could be a person that you impacted. Maybe you brought them in from outside and helped them feel welcome or helped them grow in some sort of way. See, when you get specific about this community, you are basically showing and not telling me that this community means a lot to you, because after all, to be loved is to be seen or known, and vice versa. The other key part of this essay is we want to see change in that community and in you. We don't want a static picture of like what you do every week. That's so boring. I don't want this to just be like another thing on your resume or activities list. I want to track how this community has evolved throughout time with your help, with your voice. So in order to do that, you kind of have to establish like a before and after. Before, what was the vibe like? Or when you were just entering, what was it like? And then after, in terms of like present day, how is it different? Do people speak up more? Have people changed their minds on a certain topic? Is there more camaraderie? Like, there are so many different ways to measure your impact in a community beyond just numbers. Even though growing numbers is important, there's so much beyond that. So one more thing is, when we think about communities changing us, this requires a level of vulnerability, right? Because we don't like to admit that, maybe we had a point of weakness here, or we didn't do things in a right way beforehand, but the community kind of pointed you in the right direction. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you really want this to be a powerful essay, you kind of have to show us like your weakness, your starting point when you entered this community. And then we can really reflect on the question, how has this community changed you for good, for the better? Cue the Wicked soundtrack. So the second question is, and this is for the College of Arts and Sciences. At the College of Arts and Sciences, curiosity will be your guide. Discuss how your passion for learning is shaping your academic journey and what areas of study or majors excite you and why. Your response should convey how your interests align with the college and how you would take advantage of the opportunities and curriculum in the arts and sciences. This is 650 words. So there's like 3 different elements wrapped up into this. It's an intellectual curiosity, why major, and a why us question all wrapped up into one. But no fear, because you have a lot of room. 650 words is quite long. It is equivalent to your personal statement. So what I would recommend is having almost like maybe even up to half of this essay. So that's anywhere from 200 to 350 words to really dive into a more meaningful, deeper anecdote that kind of tracks your progression in this area of intellectual curiosity. So maybe you start with your first moment of curiosity or your first moment of exposure to the topic that you're really interested in, and then you track how it's grown over the years. Or maybe it has like more of a personal story or meaning, especially if you're going into the field of medicine, right? A lot of us have firsthand experiences in the world of medicine that you can probably draw from so that there's that personal connection to what you are studying. So within this anecdote, I need to get a sense of like, okay, you have really devoted a lot of time and energy to it. Like you have put in your blood, sweat, and tears. I say this to my students a lot. And also that it is somewhat meaningful to you on a deeper level. It's not just something that you're intellectually interested in. It's something that you have the heart and the drive to see some real change in. I took a look at my own Cornell essay, which was also equally as long. And essentially, I spent a good amount of my own essay establishing my personality and my hunger to learn. And so by the time we reached the why Cornell part, I have basically set myself up for success in convincing the admissions officers that I would do well at their school. I would continue to be hungry and passionate at their school. Now, if you take a look at my essay, honestly, I did not do a great job with the why us portion of it. I was a little bit vague. I feel like I could have been way more specific and way more direct in terms of telling the admissions officers, here are the skills that I'm going to learn from certain classes, certain professors that I'm going to use ultimately to become whatever it is that I'm going to become. And one more thing about this, because this is a question about the College of Arts and Sciences, as opposed to the other schools, which is College of Agriculture and Life Sciences and College of Architecture and Art Planning, I would mainly stick with academic opportunities that are presented. Not to say that you can't include like ECs, but I think it would be stronger if, let's say, those ECs were funded or work in partnership with your major department or have some sort of like academic tie-in, because I think that's what this question is really asking for. So opt for something that is more directly tied into the curriculum, whether that's professors or research opportunities or grants, programs that are firmly offered, study abroad, things that are a little bit more academic tied. That is it for these two essay questions. If you have more questions on different schools that I haven't yet covered, leave them in the comments below and I will get to them. All right, I'll see you guys next time.